Good morning, folks. Welcome to FYI. Wherever you're joining us from, we hope that your day is off to a fantastic start. We hope that you guys have hit the ground running wherever you're coming in from this morning. I see Debbie and I see JG, I see Abira Granville, and all the other folks who are joining us. Do let us know, the technicians who are on duty. If you wonderful, lovely folks are hearing us loud and clear, do let us know that. Good to have you here with us, guys. What's for breakfast? What's for breakfast? I got a little tea bag I'm working with here this morning, folks. A little tea bag, and I don't know if it's me, but the tea bag in this place is a little bit different. You know, when you're in these quarters and you're drinking tea, you gotta, you know, mm-hmm. Having the little tea, folks. Good to see you, Sandra Ford. I see Colin Perry is here. Ayabo Natasha Congress is on duty, folks. Technician Congress is on duty. She says loud and clear where she's joining us from. Redmond Alexis, good to see you, Redmond, and all the other guys joining us. Vanessa Wardeen and Teresa Azor Hazel. Teresa Azor Hazel is here with us as well. Dennis Beard, and I see Magalia is here. Magalia Letlow, good to have you. All have these beautiful names, man. I'm just making a mess of it with the poor acoustics of my mouth. Folks, Petula Boyce is here, and June Cameron is here as well. Selena Fraser, Selena, thanks for the thing. Did I say that? Did I say it before, Selena? Thanks for the thing, Selena. Thanks for the thing. Selena is joining us out of Canada. You know, it's you always enable us to see that we have an international morning show. You know, it's y'all fault. So welcome to our international morning show, folks. We're happy that you guys are here with us, and we got a few things to share with you guys. We're fired up, ready to go, and we hope that you good and wonderful folks. It's the same for you as well. So please, please, please stay right here, locked and loaded. Share the live, smash that emoji button as well, folks. Again, wherever you're joining the broadcast from, wherever you're picking us up from, good folks, we are happy that you are here. It's another day. It's the 25th day of July already, folks. When did that happen? The 25th day of July. Summer is rushing by. Please, guys, Daphne Aaron and Michelle Wall, do not let it run away from us. Please and thank you. Don't let it run away from us. The days are fleeting. The 25th day of July already. And you all see how the place getting dark quick. Yeah, it's coming on to Christmas. It's coming on to Christmas. Folks here in the Turks and Caicos, the islands of the Turks and Caicos, all 7 o'clock in the night, it's bright. I feel it's because they're so close to the north. You know, it's a 3-hour flight from JFK to here. 3 hours. It's 5 from Georgetown. So these guys are a little closer. 7:30 in the night, it's bright. I wanted to win Guadeloupe. Sheila Hazel. I said I win Guadeloupe. Vanilla, Garnet. You know things strong in Guadeloupe. And I know y'all know it, right? I think it's Loretta, they tell me that, right? And make it go there. Veronica, good to have you, Veronica, Gail Alicock, and all you other fantastic folks are here with us, guys. I think I like this format. It's less invasive. You know, the studio thing, you got to think about the background, you got to think about the excessive lighting and all of that. When you're on the road, what's it comes to do? But good to see you guys out there. Gail, we see you, and all the other guys who are joining us. Our audio looking a little thingish. It's acting up. It acted up. But guys, we're happy that you are here with us. Wherever you all are joining us from this morning, guys, all of you beautiful, wonderful folks joining us from around the world. Good to have you all here. Dan Mitchell, I see you there. I see Ethelyn Peters. Good to see you. Forbes, good to have you as well. Forbes Meadows or Meadows. Good to have you. Ayabo, technician on duty. Tracy Clark, good to see you as well. Folks, how are things where you are? We want to know that. Do let us know. I want to thank all of you for joining us this morning. Right off the bat, you all aren't wasting no time at all. We're just privileged that you all are here. And thanks to all of you who tuned into our broadcast last evening. You know, y'all got us out here looking nice. And I think we're going to have Amanzo Walton Desire dropping by this morning. She's going to be our guest. We're talking about all the things that matters to you. the news that making the headlines that making the news. Good to have you folks on with us. The Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional International Cooperation, rather, is going to be joining us. And we're privileged. We're privileged. Amanda is smart. She's beautiful. She's young. What more could you ask for in a guest in the morning? What more? What more? But good to have you folks with us. Ann Nelson, morning to you too. Good to have you. Henry Rodney is here, and Sherlyn Juicy Tendry is here as well. Folks, we're starting the day in a positive way. Don't anybody steal your joy this morning, right? Don't anybody steal your joy this morning at all. I'm just so privileged to be here with you guys another day. We're together again, folks. We're together again. And why y'all know something good is going to happen? Something good, isn't it so? We're together again. Those words sound like they make a lovely song, you know? I must put my mind in. This song can be a good song. But good to have each and every one of you. Karen, good to see you there. Jelly G, good to have you, Jelly G, and as well, Bernadette Duncan family. It's a long time, Bernadette. Family. Good to have you there. Loretta Argyle and all the other folks. Meruz. Oh my Lord, you see that? I'm happy. You see that? Forbes is, let me know the enunciation. Is it Medu? No, I gotta find if it's just Meduz or it's Meduzi. Ooze is in the substance. Meduz. You all got these nice names, man. Nice names. Mark Cully. I hope that Cully's Cully. Mark Cully. Yvette Moore is here too. Claire Capel. All the usual folks who we love having close by. Good to have you. Latoya Spencer is here. Mark is here. Yvette Moore is here. Facebook Use is here. Good to have you. Meduz. Ginseng Henry. Yeah. We together again, I tell you all. We together again. Something good is going to happen this morning. Something good. I feel it in my spirit. It's you in your spirit, can you pick up things? You pick up stuff like that, folks. Great to have all of you on this side this morning, folks. It's really good to have you all here. We got a couple of things we want to share with you, good folks. A couple of things we got to share with y'all this morning, and then we out of your ears. A couple of things we got to share rung by y'all, and then we got to go. We got to go. Latoya Spencer, Bernadette, Abiola Bob is here. You got a lot of Bobs on Facebook. There's a lot of fake profiles. There's a lot of fake profiles. A lot of Bobs is on Facebook. Ansing is here. Good to have you, Abiola. Good to have you. Bernadette. Magnell Barrow is here as well. Magnell says a beautiful day to everyone. I like when people come on like that. Big smile and, so large-hearted. Good morning to everyone. There's enough kindness to share around in the world. Bernadette is here and some other folks are here as well. Good to have each and every one of you join us this morning, guys. So many things in the morning papers. So many things making the morning papers. A lot of things making the morning papers at our end, folks. And, we took a peek at Starbucks News earlier. And, folks, you don't get better than this. We can talk about some of them. The editorial in Starbucks News this morning is Oil in Our Political Culture. And the way the Chinese said, culture. Oil in our political culture. Yep, that's the editorial in this morning's Starbucks News. And we see Prema Alexander saying that the president's office and not the ministry, not the Ministry of Education, deals with GTU multi-year pack. You see? If I don't siphon off something to do for yourself, people got nothing to do. That you'll be out there doing everything. Everything. I was supposed to call him a pejorative, but it's a morning show, and I want us to continue on uplifting tenor. Continue on uplifting tenor. In the morning papers, bus driver nurse charged with $76 million gold heist. 76.9 to be precise. $1 million gold heist. Go big or go home. Go big or go home, folks. Even though we're not in the studio, we got a little lighting here to help us. Help you all to see me and help me to see y'all. Right? As if you all see me squinting, you all know that's what I'm squinting at. You all see me, I see y'all. Be good to go. We usually have to help out the environment with a little more lighting. Try to do the way the professionals do. Trying to do it in that way. So good to see you, Beryl Crawford, Evelina Whitaker, and I see Anaya. Anaya Kingston is here too, and all the other beautiful, fantastic folks who are joining us this morning. Nothing short of a privilege, guys. Nothing short of a privilege having each and every one of you here with us this morning. Wherever you're joining us from the diaspora, we're happy that you guys are here. In a couple of days, I'm up north with you folks, right? The folks in Brooklyn, we're still hooking up. They're hooking up, so the folks in New Jersey, y'all message me, please. 6276963. We got to start putting things in place. The folks in Queens, we still linking. We still linking. I want to surprise a couple of folks too. Got to surprise a couple of folks too, folks. Got to surprise a couple of people too. Please and thank you. So we still linking, guys. We still linking. In a couple of days, we still linking. Right? You see, I got nothing on vacation. Y'all don't bother me. This show thing every day that you all want. Don't bother me. It can be few and far in between. Till we get back to September and back to regular programming. I tell you, I was the order early. Show, morning, noon, and night. People train you all bad. People train you all bad. Folks, we're going to be talking with Amanda Walton is here. A little later on in the program, folks. A little later on in the program. The program this morning, we've been talking with her. We're just discussing some of the things making the morning papers, folks. Good to see you, Debbie Collins and Yolanda Thomas. Yolanda says she's waiting on my arrival. Good. You know, this anticipation makes the heart grow fonder. Isn't that what the good book says? Anticipation makes the heart grow fonder. You all see how I rewriting the whole book now? Glenford Gordon. Right? So you folks, please touch base with me. You know, it's the one number we use all the time, 6276963. Not this morning, but we got to fine-tune the plans for New Jersey. We got to fine-tune the plans for elsewhere, folks. You know, you got a good backyard. Let me know. Tell you when we're coming through. I want to see some of y'all face-to-face. You know, some of y'all is jacking back, so we got to cast you out. It's good morning. You know, y'all think that's a little harsh. Some other programs discuss you up, you know. Some other programs out here, you get some real cuss up. Let's turn our attention, folks, to some of what we're covering internationally. Stay on, Benjamin. We see you there. And we see Ann Singh. And I see Donna McDonald here as well. I see Eutha London has just joined us. Good to have you. Roxanne Atkins is Alkins. You're making us scroll back now. You see? Alkins. Roxanne Alkins is here. Good to see you. And Jennifer Griffith. Good to see Tandika Watson is here as well. Right? Look this one, Tandika Watson. Saying here, but show. That's a new song. You see? I trust you're happy. You see? Work hard and you got to play a little hard too. So I come in for play hard by yourself. Right? Ayaba says she's having Corilla and saltfish. Yep, you know she eats her lunch early. Corilla and saltfish. Ayaba, you in the UK, where are you getting Corilla from? Where are you getting Corilla from? I ain't had Corilla in years. Loretta Argyle, good to see you there. Selena Fraser, good to see you as well. I want y'all know, you see, Dwayne Hall has showed up for duty. Technician Dwayne Hall, that is. Dwayne said, Shara, the volume is good. Right? Dwayne Hall has showed up for duty. I want y'all know, them boys and thing, you know, my visa intact. Right? Bernadette Duncan says she's having some bacon cheese. Oh, well, y'all know how to make her feel hungry. And let's got this little tea here knocking it down. Just got a little tea. Ariel Hector is watching us from Atlanta, Georgia. I can be in Atlanta too. I feel like this is a world tour now. Atlanta, Georgia in the house. Ariel Hector. Good to see you, Ariel. And all the other folks joining us. Let's take a spread of what we're following this morning before the time run away from us, folks. First up, you know, I really love, and I think it's the way I was brought up, the way I was raised by my mother, by by my mama, I think it was the way I was raised by my mama. You see, to be open-minded. I am persuaded. Let me let you know. I am persuaded in whom I believe. I am fully persuaded in whom I believe. But to be open-minded about who others believe in as well. And one of the things making the headlines internationally this morning is the fact that there's outrage. I almost said outage. Coming from the 592 for that simple like that. There has been outrage across the Muslim world at the Quran's burning in Europe. I assume too much word. Outrage. No, folks, why you gotta do this? Why we gotta go to all of these extremes? Why we gotta do it? The thing that concern you, left it alone, man. Margaret Nelson. Huh? Living alone, huh? Yeah, Margaret said, just tell you gonna die like change. But you know, as Guyanese, after all, we expect Margaret. Don't rush up. In my Sharman Blackman voice, you'll get brushed up. Don't do it. There's outrage. If this thing don't concern y'all, leave it alone, the man. The people going kitty catcher with the religion. Why you got to go burning the holy book? I can't swear that if y'all burn the Bible, I won't punch you in the throat. I can't swear to that. Leave the people things alone. They're going burning the people books. That is the book they believe in. They find guidance and wisdom from. Leave the people book alone. So outrage today across Europe on this front, folks. Some people like that. Disgusting. Real disgusting. I invite you guys to be as open-minded as you can. You see? Well, that's only how we can move this world forward, and especially the country that we hail from. Be a little open-minded this morning, if anything. A little open-minded. We turn our attention now to what's happening in Russia. There's a meeting of the Russia military leader and his Chinese counterpart. This is the Russia defense minister. Yeah. And not military leader. The Russian defense chief, right, is said to be making a surprise visit to North Korea. I said, China, I'm really up this morning. Surprise visit to China. That was going down. I think we got to ramp the AC up just a little bit. Yep. Surprise visit to China. That's what's going down, folks. That's what's going down. And so that is making the part of the international news this morning. Because, anytime these powers meet, suspicions are high. So again, the Russian military chief, and you know how they taught us to say big name, right? Moscow and Pyongyang is meeting, and this is Sergei, Shoigu, the Russian defense chief. So we're watching that, folks. We're watching that based on all that's happening in the Ukraine currently. We're watching that. Good to see you, Tommy Gibbs. Bernard Duncan. Good to see you. And Margaret Nelson, Mark Allman, and Debbie Collins. Good to see each and every one of you on the live. And folks, we got to end this thing. I'm a little off. Yeah. We got to end this thing. We got to end this thing, This war, this occupation, this aggression with Russia and the Ukraine. We got to pull back from that. Please and thank you. Vex. We got to pull back from that. Heat. Folks, listen to me. Y'all listen to me, good man. Share the live. Listen to me. I ain't sugarcoating because I need people place. My aunt Elizabeth said, when you go to people country, don't make it uncomfortable. Right? But even with that kind of philosophy, I ain't sugarcoating. I'm not sugarcoating. Turks and Caicos Islands is a British territory. They use the US dollar here. That's the main currency, the US dollar. British territory, right? They still recognize the crown. They sing God Save the King here. It's part of the national anthem. US dollars here. Turks and Caicos Islands, beautiful and organized, progressive. What are the adjectives I can find? Beautiful, organized, and progressive. Dan Abrams, Leon Logan, out front parts, good morning. Out front parts, good morning. Progressive, forward thinking, forward looking. Right? The refrain, I don't know if it's a national motto, I gotta find out, but I hear them sing often. Beautiful by nature. Turks and Caicos Islands, beautiful by nature. That's what I'm telling you. But hot. And you know what? I was talking to one of the drivers here, and he said it gets hotter. It's hot, folks. The hottest sun I have experienced in Guyana, in compare to this heat here. Right? You're going from the not the taxi, the car that's taking you from point A to B to the hotel door, and you can't make it. You're blowing. It is hot. Here what the moderator told us in yesterday's one of the plenary we had. You can ditch your jacket if you want. We know it's a little hotter than usual. You can take off your business jacket. It is hot. Beautiful country. Beautiful scenery. Right. Beautiful girls and boys. You see? But hot. I think that's a large way of saying it. You are saying long here. Because if you allow me, I may anchor down. Folks, Big Auntie sang the national anthem yesterday as they had the opening for this 45th. Let me get it right. 45th annual conference of the Caribbean, Americas, and Atlantic region of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. You see, Big Auntie sang the anthem yesterday. It starts with one of the stanzas, I think, from the British anthem, and then they go on into they have their own anthem, but it's mixed into that. God Save the King. Right? When the lady finished with the anthem, I don't know. I've never heard the anthem before. Maybe there are better renditions. I tremble. Right? I felt a little naturalized. When a woman finished with the anthem, hence if you hear a little accent kicking in every now and again. You understand? The woman sang the anthem and shook the room. Right? I say, well, I guess citizenship here now. Right? But the heat, Mother of God, sweet Mother of God, the heat, I have never I thought Antigua was hot. Lived in Antigua for a little bit. I thought Antigua was hot. Antigua is a freezer in comparison. It's hot, but beautiful people, beautiful place, unmatched, unparalleled beauty. This is the island that God created here. Turks and Caicos Island. I say naturalize after someone finish singing this anthem now. You see, I can put it from house and land now. Beautiful, but heat like that, rocking Europe. And the folks are watching it. They are watching it, heat waves in the US and Europe. They say it is virtually impossible, the kind of heat you're experiencing now, without climate change. Without climate change. You know, one of the drivers told us last evening, rain here is a rarity. I am doubting. It rained a little bit yesterday. He said, y'all bring rain. Well, I know I got them kind of powers. Me know what you are. I serve the true and living God. You understand me? I serve the true and living God. So he said, y'all bring the little rain. I said, yes. You know? Yes. It's the only time before I call them fire and them jacobats we got to deal with. his only time. But this heat wave that people are experiencing in Europe and North America, they're saying it cannot be. There's a let me get the phrase in the phraseology. Right? They said it is virtually impossible without climate change. Well, with the heat that I feel over the last 72 hours, being in the people country, me doubt them. I don't doubt them. You see? Naturalized as I've been with Anthem and all yesterday, I don't doubt them. Sheila Boydchild, Lisa Blue, Gail Beckles, Rogers, I don't doubt them. So that's some of what we're following. Folks, stay hydrated at your end. We've told you all in previous broadcasts of a drought in Jamaica, Barbados had some challenges. Barbados and Jamaica, I know in particular, put $100 million into just water facilities, and that's how bad they had it. Climate change, you see? See some people looking old and haggard and beat up. Climate change. Some of y'all miserable whole day. Whole day, y'all just vexed. Climate change, that's what I'm telling you all. Climate change. We gotta watch that. Right? Climate change getting into Elon Musk too. Doing a pack of madness with Twitter. A pack of madness. I saw one gentleman ask, now what we can call a tweet? They changed the name of Twitter, it's now X. Twitter is no longer Twitter as we know it, it's now X. Like I want to delete my whole account. I fed up at this point. I fed up at Twitter at this point. Twitter is no longer Twitter, it's known as X. So what do you call a tweet? Sheila Boydchild, Jolly Anderson, Edward, Yolanda. What do we call a tweet? It's just known by X. It's a pack of madness happening over there. I just feel like delete my whole account. Every day is some nonsense. It is just called X now. That is the new logo for Twitter. It is just known as X. Like, put this little tea in my stomach, yeah? Put this little hot water in my stomach. Hot water in my stomach. Only that irritate there. Put this hot water in my stomach. Twitter is just known by X. Musk can outdo himself. He can outdo himself. They hired a CEO, I found out recently. He said when the CEO come, he was going to fade into the background, but he ain't faded in. He light too bright. His light's too bright. He ain't fading. Yeah? Luan Hall, that is all Twitter is known by now as X. And things get a little bizarre every day. He used to have a dog. They took down the Twitter logo at one point and put up a dog. Some people got money. But madness reigning supreme upstairs. Musk got plenty money, bought Twitter for 6 or 8 billion US dollars. And one time he had a dog up as some Bitcoin, some what do you call it? Bitcoin logo was a dog, and now it's just X. So I'm just registering my concern that you got some mental health challenges happening on that side, folks. Some mental health challenges happening on that side. On that side, look what we're following in the region. This is Guatemala. Guatemala doing a lot of nonsense. A lot of nonsense. And the US recently advised them, cautioned them, as it were, to ensure no interference after the governing party made a raid on the opposition. I think they even detained the opposition leader. And elections is happening currently. They were the electoral process. So the US tell them, yeah, be careful. Ensure no interference in the election after this recent raid that they had there in Guatemala. I hope the US don't interfere themselves too much. Next thing you know, the Guatemalan people got some Jacobats and trench capos to deal with, some Jebusites, Philistines, and Pharisees of their own to deal with. Because US hands are clean on these matters. Not clean. More than often they play a good role, supportive role, a guiding role. But sometimes regime change as well. Regime change as well. And we're hoping for the best outcome in Guatemala. Two, we're hoping, right? Well, some Eastern Caribbean states close to where we are, they wake up the other day and say, well, we fell up the queen face on this, on our notes, on the EC currency, and we can take it off now. I'm telling you, that's how the folks woke up. They woke up in a rage. They said, this money here got to go. Fed up. I'm fed up. The image of Queen Elizabeth II on the EC dollar notes is to be replaced, they say, by the ECCU logo. The ECCU is the Eastern Caribbean Central Union. And their logo will replace the Queen. There was a unanimous vote in a recent meeting. And said, we're scrapping Elizabeth. We're scrapping Elizabeth. Folks, you can't afford to close the eye in this place, you know. You can't even afford to close the eye in this place. Then boys gone with you. They just close the eye. They're scrapping the image now in the currency. You know, it's your currency down there. The Eastern Caribbean states, do as you like, folks. Do as you like. They're telling us Caribbean Airlines now going to St. Kitts. Folks, I went to St. Kitts last year. November, I think it was. Was it? Or October? Beautiful place as well. So I was happy. I didn't see the prices yet. But I said this is the first time Caribbean Airlines going to St. Kitts and Nevis. It's the first time. So we're watching that. Nice time, folks. More destinations for your summer holiday. You know, more choices, more options. But so Caribbean Airlines says that they're going St. Kitts now. Historic. It's the first time. We wish them well. I thought Jack Warner gone. I thought Jack Warner, former FIFA, am I getting it right? Executive, Trinidadian, break away from the UN. He had his own political party and all that. I thought he was extradited to the US, he in the orange suit, and enjoying the time. But not so. Not so. He has rejoined Jack Warner. He has rejoined the UNC in Trinidad. Of course, you know, the UNC got some elections coming up next week. Week after next is around the 14th or 15th of August. They got some elections coming up. So we're watching that, folks. We are watching those elections on that side as well. We're watching those elections. Jack is back, folks. Jack is back. And you all know when he's there, he's like Gary Griffith, the former commissioner of police there in Trinidad, to the fifth power. I can't imagine Jack Warner and Gary Griffith on the same political umbrella. Folks, it's Bacchanal whole day. It's Bacchanal whole day. So I watching that. It's Bacchanal whole day. That's one of the things we're following regionally as well. Lennox, good to see you there. And Diane, Pierre Lecoq, and Leroy. I see Roxanne Aaron is here, and Chammy Gibbs is here as well. Look what else we're following, good folks. In the 592, we touch down. Womp, womp, womp. Who expects? Oh, my Lord. This is so wonderful. You see, I don't make tea for any everybody. You see? When I make tea for people, they want to go back home. They don't want to go back home. This tea tastes fantastic. And take another sip. They don't want to go back home. That's what I'm telling you, folks. So what we following? In the 592, our Guyanese brother who was living in Trinidad. Remember, this fellow went missing, I think, since in April. Since in April, I think he went missing. Well, unfortunately, he went missing in Trinidad. He was living in Trinidad, you know, moving ahead, making a better life for himself. And then, my Lord, we recently learned that they found his body. I want to thank Starbuck News for this reporting. This is Regan Reese. Regan Reese. And Trinidad police telling us that around 2:45 p.m. on Sunday, homicide officers went to the Palm Drive. About 100 feet off the road was an abandoned shack. Right? An abandoned shack. Near the shack was a freshly dug mound covered by a circular wooden board. A cadaver dog and undertakers were brought 6 feet down. They found the body wrapped in cloth and plastic. There was a tattoo on the chest. Reese, 45, Guyanese national, lived in Nautilus Circular, Bonaire West, Aruca. He was last seen at 2 p.m. at Loppin Point Junction, Aruca, driving his Hyundai Tucson. Good. And police believe, of course, that this is Reese's body that they found last Sunday. Guyanese living and working in Trinidad and Tobago. Guyanese living and working in Trinidad and Tobago and met his demise in this most dreadful and horrific fashion. Horrific fashion. We're going to see some of our colleagues as we heading into the emancipation season. Hope you fund this thing properly, you know. Or you fund this thing properly. We got the money. And folks, allow me to say before I head on, our thoughts and prayers with our brother's family. You know? Oh, death must not find us thinking that we die. Mr. Reese's family, our thoughts and our prayers go out to them. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to them. Horrific, horrendous. Police are saying they think this is his body that they have found. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family, friends, and loved ones of Regan Reese. Regan Reese. As I said, it's good seeing Roysdale and the Mayor Emeritus, you know, all the other folks there, Maureen and what's her name? You know, down at ACDA, prepping for emancipation, celebration. We didn't come for betterment. Please and thank you. Folks, we didn't come. Miss Pinder, the names are coming back to me. Yeah, by advancing, you know, and probably the hair grease. Not asking, it's grease that they're using the hair grease. The memory keeps slipping, you see? Keep slipping. So the folks are ready. The folks are ready, folks. And whichever political party you belong to, you see, whichever ethnicity, you can all join in and celebrate emancipation. We need emancipation from these jagabats we have to deal with. We need emancipation from them. You see, we didn't come for betterment. Some of us came. Some of us were brought at a high price. At a high price. 400 years later, we're still trying to catch ourselves. We've been slaves longer than we've been free. Still trying to catch ourselves. Right? And I hope you fund them. They better catch yourself quick and fund this thing properly. We're watching y'all. We're watching y'all. Watching y'all. You know? We're watching. The International Court, the Inter-American Human Rights Commission, to be precise, the Inter-American Human Rights Commission says it is dissatisfied with Guyana's steps to address the threats, harassment, and other things of the Caribs at Chinese landing. The people of their own land. You see? And this install regime giving other people permission to go and mine there. And attempting to manage the people at Chinese landing. Well, our indigenous brothers and sisters went to the Human Rights Commission. Sorry, the Inter-American Human Rights Commission. That's where they took their plight. And the commission is saying government has to do more. You know, these folks that said they care, they have to do more. That's what they say. That is what they're saying, folks. And we are going to be talking with the one and only Amanzo Walton this year, the shadow Minister of Foreign Affairs, you know, and international cooperation. I wish Amanzo get this spot here. We can put them boys out and she gets this spot. She would deliver in such a way like has never been seen before. Henry Kissinger, step aside. You know, Mr. Brzezinski, step aside. I hope Ronald, are you watching? What's his first name? I'm trying to remember. Brzezinski, step aside. Albright, Madeline, step aside. Step to the side. A man's would do excellent here. Excellent. And today we're talking about the excesses of the PPP. I hope over the weekend you don't just play with yourself. You see, Starbucks News had a fantastic editorial undermining institutions on Sunday. And then on Monday, the editorial in Starbucks News, it was the Dharamlal case. Notes on the Dharamlal case. Notes on the Dharamlal case. And in each instance, they laid out the facts. Not propaganda. No hatchet job. The facts of how systematically the PPP has been undermining the institutions of this country to the benefit. If they can't control, they undermine, they destroy. And then notes on the Dharamlal case focus on things that just didn't sit right. Just didn't sit down right. You see? It's an uneasiness when you think about it in this Nigel Dharamlal rape and sodomy allegations saga. Just didn't sit right. Folks, the one and only our sister or friend, the Shadow Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, the one and only Amanzo Walton Desir. Amanzo Walton Desir to our broadcast. And Amanzo, for those of you who do not know, you've been living under a rock. Amanzo is the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Amanzo, welcome.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for having me.
Amanzo, we live in a country where, in colloquial terms, you just got to hear a word and you know the whole story. You know, two editorials out of Starbucks News of recent vintage tells us the whole story in this country. On Sunday, the editorial was undermining institutions, and in broad strokes, it told of institutions that the PPP civic government has not been faithful to, and you, of all persons, know if they can control an institution, they undermine it, they try to destroy it. We've seen it in several NDCs, municipalities, this attitude of the PPP on full display. And then today's editorial was notes on Dharamlal, notes on Nigel Dharamlal. This is the PPP minister who recently resigned under the pressure of the allegations of rape and sodomy of a 16-year-old. Amanzo, they tell the whole story. And, you know, the PPP has been managing for the last few days and weeks, if not months, from crisis to crisis. Where are we tackling any given order? Sunday's editorial, yesterday's editorial.
Look, Sharon, the reality is that we are pre-2015, except with loads of money in the economy. I think that is where we can succinctly say that we are. Pre-2015, what we saw was the complete breakdown of our institutions. We saw the complete corruption of the police force. We saw crime at an all-time high. We saw Guyana being transformed into a narco state. We saw us slipping on the corruption index. And as if it were deja vu, we are right back there. It's the same old PPP, the same old playbook. And Guyanese can simply expect more of the same because this is the nature of Barajaglio and his cabal. We have always been saying in the opposition that the key to a strong democracy the key is strong institutions. That is the cornerstone of a strong democratic society. And I think over the course of the 5 years, the 3 effective years more or less of the APN UFC administration, what we saw was a commitment to valuing and building up institutions. What you're seeing now is the tearing down of those institutions, and it has placed Guyana on a path of full democratic backslide. We are in full blown democratic backslide. And Starbuck News made a very important observation. So, what we have happening is the undermining of our institutions by this current PPPC administration, and it's being done deliberately. What is happening in effect is that they're setting up a cult of personality leadership style, and that is the precursor to totalitarianism and dictatorship. But Irfan Ali is doing it in such a manner that he is hoping that the people of Guyana do not that we do not recognize what they're doing. And so he's coming under the guise of, oh, he likes to be in contact directly with the people. The example that was given is so important.
Yeah.
He wants to deal directly with the teachers,
Yeah.
bypassing an important organization like the Teachers Union.
Correct.
And
And
he is
Sabakos took him
hoping,
to task on that.
yeah, and
Sabakos took him
he's
to task on that, saying if he has to consult with teachers, he has to visit 1,000 institutions across this country.
and correctly so, because the unions were set up to represent the interests of the teachers. And these unions really are an important um, check and balance in terms of the power dynamic in our country. And so to bypass them, but on the face of it, because you love people so much and you want to make sure that you interact with people directly, they're hoping that we do not recognize what their true intention is. But we recognize it, and we've been calling it out from the time we entered the National Assembly. We pointed out how they gutted the Public Accounts Committee, the quorum requirement. And for over 20 meetings, the government was absent, forcing those meetings to be adjourned. We spoke as well about the manner in which they gutted the EPA, such an important regulatory body, given the fact that we are now a petro state, completely gutted of the experience and knowledgeable personnel. So, this tendency of this Irfan Ali administration is simply a continuation of what we saw pre 2015. You will recall they had the notoriety for implementing IMCs in the municipalities instead of duly elected representatives within the community. It was the AP and UAFC that reintroduced local government elections here. And in fact, over the 5 year period, would have had two local government elections. So there's not a commitment to institutions from this PPPC administration, and that is dangerous. And it is dangerous because strong institutions, that is the cornerstone to a strong democracy. It is imperative that as a nation, we have strong institutions that are able to provide a check and balance between the people and the state.
I'm happy that you've said that because one of the reasons why we use Starbuck News is that kind of middle of the road newspaper. We disagree with them on occasions, but by and large, they're heading in the right direction as a journalistic entity locally. And here on the second day, this is Sunday into Monday now. Sunday you have undermining institutions, and they're talking about the PP government. On Monday, notes on the Damlal case. And if there's any case or any example of undermining of institutions, you have the CPA, the Child Protection Agency, which operates under the aegis of the administration. You have several other organizations that came into contact with CPA. You got the DPP's office, and all of the bizarre contortions of this case, where these damning allegations were laid before the PPP's minister, Nigel Damrell, foreign minister. So it's on full display for Guyanese.
It is on full display. And when we were in school, teachers would provide us examples to explain a concept. The Dharamlal saga is an example of how eroded our institutions are. Prime example, a case study in what happens when our institutions are deliberately undermined, particularly by government. Sherrod, it is dangerous. The UN Sustainable Development Goals, I think it is Goal 16, speaks about just and peaceful society. And it takes pains to point out the importance of having those strong institutions. In the Dharamlal saga, you saw the failure of the CPA, the Child Protection Agency. You saw the
Correct.
failure of the DPP. You saw the failure of the Guyana Police Force. So it was on full display for all Guyanese to see. And I keep making the point that it may be advantageous for those who benefit from the undermining of our institutions now, but it will lead us down the road of becoming a failed state. And so we have to arrest this decline now, or else our children, as we are cautioned, we will eat sour grapes and our children's teeth are going to be set on edge. As citizens, we have a duty. Look, the meaning of democracy is ruled by the people. And what it means is that in a democratic society, people rule either through their elected representatives or directly. As it is, we have a representational system. In the National Assembly, you have close to 50% of the population represented by the opposition. And what you see is the PPPC administration excluding the opposition from very, very important issues,
Yeah.
contrary to Article 13, which calls for an inclusionary democracy.
Mhm. Far from
So,
it.
in essence, they are excluding the people. But what they have been good at doing is masking this as if it is the opposition, a core of 31 persons who are somehow just the 31 persons, not realizing that we represent in excess of 220,000 Guyanese.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
effectively shutting that segment of the population out from decision making. And whilst we may think that it is cute today, Sherrod, we are going down a road that will lead to certain destruction. Because when you add the inflationary effect of all of this money that is now in the economy, and I'm talking here now in terms of the socioeconomic context, everything is magnified. Money is a magnifier. So if you corrupt, more money, you're more corrupt. If
Hmm.
there's decadence, more money, there's more
Yeah.
decadence.
Yeah.
Money is simply an amplifier. And so, with
Correct.
all of this money in the economy, what you're seeing are the ills that we have allowed to fester in this nation being magnified. And we, the people, have to arrest it.
Hmm. Hmm. Very much so. Amanda, you mentioned the dynamics between the opposition and government. It's a point I was mentioning to our viewers early on in Turks and Caicos Islands, where I am currently. There's one opposition member. The public here really voted against the last administration in February of this year due to the poor management of COVID-19. One of the key things is the amount of COVID grants they give to the hotel industry and none to the people. And they said that was one of the decisive things they were voted out of office. But even in that context, and we see too the demonstrative in Barbados, where you had two elections where Mayor won, the Prime Minister there, Mayor Motley won outright there in Barbados. You still see an engaging of the opposition. And there's a point that Sabuk News made. The PPP thinks that they can bypass the opposition and go directly to their supporters. The editorial pointed out that they got a rude awakening in the last local government elections.
Mhm. And this is so because I think one of the key takeaways for me from the last LG is that despite the money that was thrown at the local government elections at people at the last minute attempting to literally buy votes, the people of Guyana demonstrated a certain level of consciousness.
Mhm.
And that is what keeps me hopeful, because we're seeing a people who are able to cut through issues and who are discerning of motives and who are discerning of intentions. And I think that augurs well for our future politics. What we need to see is stepped up and enhanced civic participation, enhanced participation from citizenry, and understanding that at a fundamental level, we as politicians are literally here to serve you. We are
Correct.
your representatives.
Correct.
And look at
Correct.
the etymology of the word minister. It means just that, to serve and help.
Yeah.
And so we have to begin to shrug off this understanding that as a people, we are here to be used by government. The government is the servant of the people, and we have to continue to emphasize that. And we have to hold any government, including an APNU AFC government, accountable to that fact.
True and correct. Amanda, before we go on the foreign front, in foreign affairs, recently there were some scathing articles in all the media here about this government and their foreign policy stance, the fact that it is so incoherent if it exists at all. We saw some pushback from them. One of the interesting things that we saw in them kind of summing up where they are in foreign relations is that they're on good terms with their neighbors. I don't think you might say that of Venezuela. I don't think you might even say that of Suriname. And we saw all of the whining and dining of Santoki. But what is there to show for that? You know, they were supposed to give us some licenses almost a year ago. Irfan is still having, is still waiting. Is still the man in waiting. He's now off to China. And lots of us at this end, I'm sure you are this way as well. We're at the edge of our seats, popcorn and cokes in hand.
Look, I'll say this: the PPP has not been able to adumbrate a coherent foreign policy because they are by and large transactional. And when you are transactional in your foreign relations, it leads to incoherence. So I am not surprised that they've not been able to set that out. They did a very poor job of defending against the criticisms, because it could never be that we have invitations from over 50 states, that is an indicator of your foreign policy success. It means that you are now an interesting state, and for very obvious reasons. We have oil.
Mhm. Correct.
So it's no feather in the cap of this administration that he is so invited. There are geopolitical reasons for Guyana being at the table. Having said that, this is why it is very, very important for us as a nation to determine what our national interest is, because failing to properly define our national interest will lead to us being blown, pulled, and tugged to and fro. And this is what is happening to the current administration, because they have not been able to articulate what the national interest is. And they haven't been able to do that because they are transactional. Now, of course, as a head of state, you are expected to conduct state visits. The issue that I have with this, however, is that on their return to Guyana, the people of Guyana are not given a proper briefing as to what transpired. So we don't know what was traded away. We don't know what the negotiations were. And Irfan Ali doesn't go there in his own right. He goes
Yeah.
as a representative of the people of Guyana.
The sad thing is that they think it's about them. It's about the
And
PPP
they
and their
think that this
policies
is
that
about
has brought them
them.
before great men.
Exactly. And so this headiness that you see characterizing their interactions on the foreign policy front is dangerous. It requires now more than ever that we have a sober, well thought out approach, bipartisan even, to our foreign policy
Yeah.
of paramount importance. So I would hope that when the president returns from China, because I will be asking in the National Assembly for a briefing through the Foreign Relations, the Sectoral Committee on Foreign Relations, so the Guyanese can understand what did you go there to say on our behalf? What did you gain? What, we deserve to know. Irfan is not going there to represent Irfan. He's going there to represent us as the people of Guyana.
Yeah, yeah. And you talked about asking that in the National Assembly as we go. And I want to be facetious and say, if you're allowed to ask that, because we seem to be getting more and more restrictive as a National Assembly. Quite recently, we saw Tabitha Sarabo Haley, our colleague, a member of Parliament, wanted to ask about what's happening there with the Niger Dam issue. Wanted to make a statement on that. Prevented. He isn't here, so he can't defend himself. Roysdale Ford, a senior council member of parliament or a colleague as well, wanted to raise the issue of what's happening with the families at Madia. That was shut down. We seem to be becoming more and more of a restrictive parliament.
And
So
and
it's
and
so, so it's not only that we are meeting intermittently if there's any pattern to be had even there, but when we meet, we can't even discuss the pertinent issues of the day. My God.
and this is why it is always for me a struggle as to why bother. But then you remember that people elected you to represent them.
Yeah.
And so that is what keeps us going back to the National Assembly. The PPP is unabashed about them going whenever they need money. They have no qualms about it. And so this is what it has descended into. Put in parliament so they could go dip their hand into the patrimony of the people of Guyana. The fact that the Speaker of the National Assembly, the fact that the Speaker of the National Assembly would disallow a moment of silence
Yeah. Yeah.
for 20 young children that we lost.
Yeah.
My God,
That's the final nail in the tomb, as them boys will say.
where are we as a nation?
Yeah. And
Doesn't
they
he have
probably will go and parade in China as though he's
doesn't
such a
he have
democratic person.
grandchildren?
Yeah.
Eh? It is as if he spat on the tombs of
Yeah.
those children.
Yeah.
This is the greatest tragedy in our recent history, and you cannot allow
Yeah. Because the
a
politics
moment
is so
silent.
basic. Yeah.
Not only
That
should
is to
he
give that is to give the opposition an advantage.
not only should he have allowed it, Sherrod, but he ought to have ensured that every child's name was called out and recorded in the Hansard so that they are memorialized appropriately. Those children didn't ask to be in that dorm. They were sent into the custody
Yeah.
of the state.
Yeah. And
They
even
were in
in
the
death.
custody of the state when they died. And you dare to say that you cannot. I found it, you know what? The speaker has lost any shred of respect that I had remaining for him
Yeah. Correct.
because
I was
it was
about
tantamount to spitting on the graves of those children.
dancing around a little bit too, and what has eluded them in their lifetime, eluded them even in death. A
Eluded
caring
them in death.
administration.
The respect,
A minute of silence.
the
Wow.
dignity. You understand?
Yeah.
It,
That
it
is
is
very bad.
something that disturbed me so deeply that I left the National Assembly
Yeah.
because I couldn't understand that as a nation we could allow someone to be so callous. If
Yeah.
we as a people don't demand better, Sherrod, then we of all men are most miserable and will be most miserable because we will live in a Guyana where we drop the ball and where we fail to curb excesses and where we failed to speak out against what was wrong because it was being done by one of us.
Yeah. 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 In Shakespeare, I think it's Julius Caesar. It was either Mark Antony or was it Brutus, who was eulogizing Caesar, and reflecting on the horrors that was Caesar's death, he says, "My spirit has left me, and I must pause while it comes back to me."
While
Let
it
us
comes back to
pause.
me,
Let us
because
pause while our
because
spirit comes back to us.
it grieves
Yeah,
you that we could lose our humanity in this manner. I
yeah.
hope to God that the Speaker at the next sitting of the National Assembly returns to redeem himself.
Mhm. We live in a time of spirits. I hope his spirit come back because like it left. You know,
So
here we are.
we are in a bad state, but I am optimistic. I'm optimistic because I've seen the people of Guyana speak against the PPP
Mhm.
once before
Yeah,
in recent
defensively too.
history, and the people of Guyana will do it again, and the PPP will find out that you can do what you like, but never for as long as you
Yeah,
like.
yeah. Let's end on that note. Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Amanzo Walton. This year, it has been a privilege. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Sharon.
The one and only Amanzo Walton Desir joining us there. And we're so privileged, Amanzo. Thank you. Thank you for spending this time with us. Thank you. Couldn't ask for a better guest on this morning show. We set the tone for the day, folks. Could not ask for a better guest at all. Good to have each and every one of you here, guys. Go ahead and have a fantastic day. Share the live. If you don't share that kind of content that others get valid and credible information, you're wicked. That's what I want to say. You're wicked, and I want to fight some of y'all on that front. You're wicked. Thank you so much, Amanza. Amanza, of course, is the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. I see Lacho is here. Lacho, good morning. I ain't seen a little bit like you come off of leave. Good to have you on the live, Lacho. Lacho Mojave here. PPPI to the bone. But yet here listening to the content and taking things in. We happy. All are welcome. All are welcome. We go fight you though. We go fight you still, but you're welcome. Alexis Williams, good to see you guys. Before you run off, share the live, smash that emoji button for us, folks. We're fired up at this end, ready for the day ahead. Thanks for joining us. Desri Manuel, Lacho, Desri, Ansing, Alexis Williams, Vesta Hardy, Ingrid King is here too. Delight One, good to see you too. Rastaman, good to have you on the live. Yolanda, Naomi Drucker, good to see you as well. Naomi said that Lacho was hiding from Dharmlal. Is it true, Lacho? Is it true? Is it so? Just happy we're together again. I knew when the program started, something good was going to happen. Lacho's here. Marcel Williams. Outfront Parts is here. Folks, we're going to see you guys back on the next broadcast. No podcast for the week. So we're going to see you guys back this evening. Yep, in this same space, guys. Thanks for joining us this morning. We're so humble, and thank you so much for the Shadow Minister again of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Amanzo Walton is here, for stopping by and talking with us there. Yep. A lot of stuff, a lot of content there, a lot of content. Thank you so much, Amanzo. Guys, share the live before you go. Smash that emoji button, please, and thank you. And let me go down the road. Please and thank you, folks. Share the live. Smash that emoji button, folks. Partner with us as well so that we can do more of these programs. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. That's it. That's our time. That's our program. Thank you, Bernadette and Trevon Lilly. Delight One, good to have you too. Dolly Anderson, Donna McDonald, guys. Ayabo, Natasha Congreve. Thanks for joining us, folks. Peace and power. Thanks for joining us.